The town was quiet that morning. Too quiet. It was the kind of silence that wrapped around your bones and whispered, "Something is coming." It was 1940, and German tanks had just rolled into Luxembourg. Little towns with cobbled streets and flower boxes suddenly found themselves under the iron grip of the Nazi regime. For the citizens of this small European country, everything changed overnight. Radio stations were taken over, newspapers rewritten, and worst of all, the flags, the proud red, white and blue of Luxembourg, were banned. That's where the story of Elise Becker, a 10-year-old girl, begins. Her family lived above her father's tailor shop in the heart of Luxembourg City. Her mother spoke softly and moved quickly. Her father, once full of laughter, had turned into a quiet man with eyes that stared too long out the window. When the Nazis arrived, they took the Luxembourg flag down from the city square and burned it. They forced children to salute the swastika. They tore down monuments and replaced them with symbols of the Reich. It was in this moment that Elise noticed something no one else had seen: a small, forgotten flag still hanging behind a cabinet in her school's dusty attic. Her heart raced. She didn't tell anyone, not even her parents. Elise visited the attic every day after school. Sometimes she just looked at the flag. Other times she whispered to it, like it was a ghost of better times. She knew if the Germans found it, it would mean punishment, maybe even worse. Children had been arrested for far less. She wrapped the flag in paper and took it home one rainy afternoon. She hid it beneath the floorboards of her bedroom, right under her dollhouse. That night, she could barely sleep. The flag had become more than fabric. It was a secret, a responsibility. One day, Elise heard her father arguing quietly with a neighbor in the shop. "The resistance is growing," the man whispered. "They just need symbols, anything to remind people who we are." Her mind sparked. That night, she pulled out the flag and stared at it. "Maybe," she whispered, "it's time." The next morning, she left a note beneath the bakery bread tray. It was a code, simple, childish, but effective. A local resistance member picked it up. A week later, the Luxembourg flag flew again, just for an hour, above a bombed-out building. The Germans were furious. They never found out where it came from. After the flag incident, the Gestapo tightened their grip. Soldiers began patrolling neighborhoods. They searched houses. They questioned shopkeepers. The entire city lived in fear. One afternoon, a soldier came into Elise's father's tailor shop. He needed a uniform, While her father worked, the man looked around, suspicious. His eyes landed on Elise. "You," he said in broken French. "What are you hiding?" Elise froze. The floor felt like it dropped beneath her. "Cut." She simply smiled and said, "Just practicing sewing. Like Papa." That night, her father hugged her for the first time in weeks. She wanted to tell him everything, but the less he knew, the safer he'd be. The resistance used the flag again. This time it was painted on a train car. Another message to the people: we are still here. But with every act of defiance, the danger grew. One of Elise's school friends disappeared. Whispers said her family had been caught with a banned newspaper. The girl's desk sat empty, a silent warning. Elise thought about burning the flag, but each time she held it in her hands, she felt courage bloom in her chest. She wouldn't give it up. By 1944, the war was shifting. Rumors of Allied soldiers nearby floated through the city like fragile birds. The resistance grew bolder. More sabotage, more symbols, and now, they needed Elise's help again. They wanted to fly the Luxembourg flag on the cathedral spire. It would be seen by the whole city and the German occupiers. But the route was dangerous, and the resistance had few who could move unnoticed. So they turned to the girl who had never been caught. She tucked the flag inside her coat and made her way through the alleyways of the old quarter. Her heart pounded like thunder. She climbed the back wall of the cathedral, stones slick from rain, up into the bell tower. There, with trembling fingers, she tied the flag to a broken lightning rod. As it unfurled in the morning wind, she whispered, "This is for all of us." The city woke to the sight. People cried, soldiers shouted, but no one saw Elise slip away. Weeks later, the Allies arrived. Luxembourg was free. The resistance came out of hiding. People cheered in the streets, and then one by one, the stories came out. About sabotage, about secret radios, and about the little girl who had hidden the flag. Elise was just 12 when she was honored by the provisional government. They didn't say much publicly, too dangerous, but her story passed in whispers, from one family to the next. She grew up quietly, became a teacher, told stories of courage in her classroom, but she never told anyone where the original flag was. It was only discovered decades later beneath the same floorboards by a new family renovating the house. The fabric was faded, fragile, but it still held its shape. Today that flag is in a museum in Luxembourg City. The plaque beneath it reads, "Carried by a child who never surrendered her country in her heart." And sometimes school children still visit. They look at the small flag, they hear the story, and they learn that bravery doesn't always come with medals. Sometimes it comes from a little girl hiding a flag and holding on to hope when the whole world has gone dark.